Afternoon. Sorry. Been busy doing things, pressing buttons and stuff. I'm late. How are you all doing? 50 people in here already. Christ, I am late, aren't I? How are we doing? Evans, Steve, Mumo, Mark, Kennedy, Day Trader, Evil, JC, Gregors, Brian, Virginia, Julio, David, Monkey, Themba, afternoon. David, hit the thumbs up. Afternoon, Peter, Rico, Gav. Don't be a bum. Hit that thumb. Emac, Joe, how we doing? So we've got 55 people in here. So there should, in theory, be 25 likes. Minimum. 25. Look at that. Good job. Happy days. Right. So, quick recap of the morning. Afternoon, everybody I haven't said hello to. Otherwise, just sit here saying hello all day. So I might as well just say hello to everybody. Would you like to do a basic futures bootcamp? No. That's why I have to keep telling you, Gav, because you keep forgetting. So if I tell people to do it, it's like... it's just that thing, isn't it? If someone tells you to do something, you do it. If you know you should do something and nobody tells you to do it, you don't. So, hit the thumb. People come in. It's good. No, I'm not doing a futures bootcamp. I don't like futures. Well, I do like futures. I love trading futures, but it's really hard work. It's the hardest form of trading futures. It's so... frustrating. If you've got a big pot of cash and virtually unlimited funds, it's brilliant. The banks sit there and just keep hitting the button until the other side go, screw this, and it moves. And then they just go, close. We're not banks. It's really hard to make money out of futures. It's really easy to make money out of futures really quick. I've had days in futures where I've literally got in at the open. The thing has screamed and I've gone, screw this. I'm going to put a stop at $2,000 and it's flown down to 6. I've closed it and gone, thank you very much. I'm not trading anymore this week. And I've had days where it's done the opposite. So it's totally hit and miss. My screen is only showing 56 watchers and only 8 likes. Yes, there's something wrong there somewhere. I've got 61 people in here now. Maybe you're miles back in the past. Right. So no news today. We had the unemployment rate for New Zealand to come out yesterday at 4%. New Zealand dollar had a bit of a rally. Not a lot. So that's the news came out prior to the close yesterday, so that is the news there. Because it was 9:45 and the swap's at 10, so that's where we basically moved. And we've done virtually nothing today, as you can see. So the New Zealand dollar had a little bit of a rally, but the market's not particularly excited about it. It's still all right. Yeah, so the New Zealand's still got a bit of residual strength, but nothing much. We've had no other news today. Kugler at 4. I thought that was later. Does he move forward? I don't know. So we got Talking Heads this afternoon, and then we've got the bond auction at 6. Now, the bond auction is orange. And sometimes it does nothing. Other times it goes completely mental. So just be aware of 6 o'clock. I always watch the bond auction. I watch it like FOMC. I'm sitting there watching the telly with my laptop, and I just keep an eye on the chart at the corner of my eye. Same with FOMC, because sometimes it goes crazy and you can just bank. Sometimes it does absolutely nothing. So you just got to be a bit careful. Sometimes they get much bigger price for the bonds than they're anticipating, which rallies the US dramatically. But it all depends what the bonds go for at auction. So it's real hit and miss, that one. But that's it. We got no news today apart from that. So this morning, oh Christ, markets opened. I'm miles behind this morning. Okay, so pre-market range being taken on all three. We've had rallies this morning on everything, long the Dow, long the S&P. So we've been literally running for 3 hours, which is, I was just going to go into the news and say, this morning we've had quite a lot of earnings releases. So there's obviously some decent movement off of earnings that we've had this morning. There's also been a lot of other news as well. So Israel's Channel 13 reports an Israel official saying that some of the demands made by Hamas in the counterproposal are entirely unacceptable. So it's an escalation, well, not really an escalation. It's a lack of a de-escalation in the conflict in Israel, obviously. So we've had CVS beating, Uber beating, Alibaba shares jumping. Alibaba, huge, one of the biggest, the biggest wholesaler in the world. Huge move up there. Yum has failed. So it's been a wee whipsaw. Revenue miss, just said it was a hit. Oh, that was in pre-market. Okay. So yeah, we had that rally pre-market. That might have been Alibaba, which obviously came out as negative. Roblox up 16%, huge hit. Canadian trade balance came out in the middle. So there's been quite a bit of activity. We've also had Kashkari talking this morning, saying we're going to take some time, assess the data before we do anything with cutting. However, we're looking at cutting the rate 2 to 3 times this year. That equates to 0.5% to 0.75% if we're going in quarters, or 0.5% to 0.75%, or 1 to 1.5% if we're going in half-point moves, which we haven't done on the way up. So that seems a little more bullish US, meaning they're not going to drop the rates as far as fast. So so the market basically, if you look at the US today, not really done an awful lot off of that news at all. So again, one of those days today. There's no ADRs. Well, there is actually. That's a lie. There's a few ADRs, but literally just about hits. So pound Swiss is the only one that's actually done some decent moves. But we'll have a look at that in a sec. So NASDAQ, no entries at the moment on the NAS. Dow is pulling back from the highs, and so is the S&P. So see where we go. So if we look at where we are with the NAS, we're up here again. This is to beginning of the month. They sold it again. We came up and had another go at it yesterday. We sold it again. They came up with another crack at it yesterday. We sold it again. They've come up and had another crack at it today. Guess what? So this is looking like the market cannot sustain anything above this 176.85 roughly. Not interested. It's basically it's 17,700 pretty much. They're not interested in going above at the moment. So we'll see where we go. Just taking a short on the NAS. We've got a little bit more upside on the Dow. S&P is already out the highs today, so we're already at a new high basically on the S&P. So there's a real divergence across all three indices today, and a lot of volatility coming in. So it's just a case of wait and see what happens today, and sort of go with momentum. It could go either way. It could be 3 hedges because the market might be exhausted from this 3-hour rally and just sit around for a bit waiting for something to do. So we'll see what happens. But we're open. The 5-minute opening range is going in 10 seconds. So that's your 5-minute ORB on the Dow, your 5-minute on the S&P, and your 5-minute on the NASDAQ. So not an awful lot of movement at the open. Directional wise, anyway, fair bit of volume coming in. You see it's very skittish today. A lot of volume, no direction just yet. Anyway, Howard, that's because he's not clocked it. Who? What? Who's not clocked what? Watched documentary recently when a crypto trader got into futures, not realizing that when futures expire, he owns it. That's all I need to know. Yep. There's many stories of people getting things delivered. When you enter a futures, not a lot of people know this, but when you enter a futures contract, you are entering a contract to purchase a product in the future. When that contract expires, if you are still holding that future, they will deliver whatever you've bought. So if you buy 100 lean hogs, when that futures contract expires, you will get delivered 100 lean hogs. If you buy oil, you will get delivered a barrel of oil. Which is why on futures expiries and specifically triple witchings, you get really big moves because everyone needs to get out of their positions. But luckily for us, mere humans, we can't afford to hold positions that long. Yeah, if you're holding futures, you need a big bucket of cash. The overnight hold on a futures contract, I think it's a single contract on the NASDAQ, something like $1,500. So if you want to hold one contract overnight, you need $1,500 in liquidity in your account just to hold a single contract. So because obviously you're buying that product. So it's all different on each one. But there's lots of stories of people having oil barrels delivered and things. It's like, what? But this is why you have to sign up with the CME. You are actually entering a contract to buy it. It's happened. Not often, but it does. Futures is my bread and butter. Good man. Morning, everybody else. The man with the watches. What? Howard, you just said that's because he's not clocked it, the man with the watches, but you haven't said what he's not clocked. Who? You're talking about Greg Secker, obviously, but no one's mentioned Greg Secker, have they? I'm looking in the chat. I can't see any mention of Greg Secker anywhere. God, this thing's asleep today, isn't it? Quick recap of the morning while we're waiting. So DAX, clean break today on the DAX, straight out. The pre-market range was too tight. So I took the 5-minute ORB today. The 5-minute ORB was a clean break south. TP hit. And then we literally just rolled around with wicks to the downside here for 25 minutes. So as we started to push back up, I exited. And just took them both off at 2R today. So just banked the lot, basically. And then the FTSE was hedged. So we pushed up just over 1R, collapsed back down by 1R, sat around for the entire session this morning in the live room doing absolutely nothing. And then Sod's Law, as soon as I came out the live room, it collapsed. So again, I had targets down here at 5R. I moved my target up. You can see the target was kind of a little bit higher. I got out basically there at 4R. It was this weekly level as basically the DAX was pushing back up again. So as the DAX was starting to roll over, I exited the FTSE, got the aggressive on, went into drawdown for about half an hour, and then it pushed back up and exited. Propulsion. So banked on that as well. So good morning. Couple of $100. Okay, NASDAQ's breaking down. Dow's made a new high. FTSE not doing anything. They're really out of sync today. Really out of sync. I think I'm going to get hedged on the S&P because this NASDAQ's collapsing. The S&P is going to come down with it. We'll see what happens with the Dow. Might make a rally, but I suspect I might get hedged on both of these today. That's coming down hard. On your strategies, H1M5, ADR and hedging, do you have the market reverse alert set up on aggressive mode or normal? Normal. I don't use aggressive mode. Yeah, I've got the school run, so leaving already. That's quick. School run? Early? You must have a long way to go to school. Wayne, my breakout EA, if I enable the information box on the chart, it appears. When I disable it, the data remains on the chart? No, it doesn't remove. It's not designed to be touched, really, so... I mean, like this. This is the equivalent of the opening range breakout EA. It's the SIH, which is, you know, similar sort of EA. As you'll see, it's set up. This terminal's been active for however long it's been active for. Never touched it. So what you do, you set it up, let it run. There's no need to touch it once it's up and running. But yeah, I mean, it probably doesn't remove stuff. I don't know. If you want to remove anything, though, if you just go into object list, so right click on your chart, select object list, that'll bring this box up. Yeah. And if you just click list all, that lists every object on your chart. And then you can delete individual ones if you want to, or you can just hit Control A, highlight the lot and press delete, and everything will vanish. You can just clear the chart down manually if you want to. Oh my God, this thing's stuck as anything today, isn't it? Right, well, while we're waiting for that to do something, we will... I'm in the middle of setting my VPS up. So while we're waiting for this to do something, we'll have a look at the FX side of things. So let's start off with ADRs because there's a couple there. So banked 1.16 yesterday, 1.62 banked so far today. Got a couple getting close. It's just a single. So US dollar yen. Wow. A lot of money coming into the yen, look. They're buying the crap out the yen. And the Swiss francs. This is a safe haven run. Something just happened. Nope, nothing yet on the news anyway. So basically they're buying the Swiss franc and they're buying the yen by the looks of things. Yeah. No, sorry, they're selling the Swiss franc. Buying the yen. Okay, it's not a safe haven run. So there's a load of money coming into the yen at the moment. So US dollar yen looking like that's going to hit target or approaching. Is this chart actually ticking? What's going on? On the wrong chart. No. Disconnected. There we go. So there we go, back now. So yeah, so obviously some money coming into the yen at the moment. So that might hit target today. Euro US dollar as well is getting close on ADRs. So this is the entry from Friday's non-farm payroll. So first entry taken there. Second entry was taken on Monday. That's pushing up now. So I'm looking to get out on a retest of propulsion, which will be a nice little profit if we get up to there. So ADRs today, banked 1.62. There's a few to look at. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar has hit ADR to the downside. So we've just broken out that monthly low today, quite substantially. This is obviously because of the New Zealand dollar unemployment. That's basically rallied the New Zealand dollar. So for the downside on this, you've got another monthly coming up here. So there's another nice level at 125 ADR for a bounce today. So if this does go down any further and hits that 125 level, I'll be getting in anyway because that's the level I'm taking. But if you want to take the ADR reversal there, your 5-minute reversal alert is about to go in there. However, it'd be much nicer if it rallies down into that bottom. Target half an ADR or so. Euro Swiss. That's already played out. So there's your reversal alert. That's ADR. There's your reversal alert. Straight in, retest, and down. So if you took that one, you are 17 pips in profit. 23 is half an ADR. Pound Swiss. I'm already in this one. So that's the reversal alert this morning there, which is where I've got into my second position. So there's your reversal and your retest. Hasn't really gone very far today. So I just need to set a new target on this one. Oh, I've already done it. Just get rid of that box. Okay. So that was, if you remember in the live room yesterday, I went through this as a scenario. Somebody asked about this. I think it was Wayne. Can't remember who. But somebody asked about what I was doing with this trade, how I was managing it. And I said basically yesterday, if it continues to rally today, we'll be adding a second position in. Or was it this morning? Can't remember. Whatever it was. So adding the second positioning, moving the average up. Instead of targeting that propulsion gap, now targeting that propulsion gap. So that's what I'm doing. Getting out down there. So that's a nice reversal this morning. Playing out okay at the moment. New Zealand dollar Swiss. That's an ADR hit to the upside. Obviously, this New Zealand dollar quite strong at the moment, obviously off the back of the news. We haven't had a reversal alert on this morning because it rallied really hard into lunch. So there was no selling for half an hour. So that was the last batch of sells we had here. So we're going to need to take control of that level to give us a reversal in structure. So that's going to be your first reversal alert on this, which is kind of 12 pips. It's about a third of an ADR before you get an entry. So that's not the best entry in the world, that one's short. But nice wick rejection. So we tapped straight into the highs. Yeah. Buyers just tried to rally again. Sellers batting them back down. We've got 11 minutes left on that candle. So that one, New Zealand dollar Swiss, is an entry. That's also weekly, look. So that is a weekly 125 ADR extension. We looked at this one this morning, though. You've got this massive broker candle that went in on Monday. So wasn't sure about this being an actual weekly range, but it was close. Now it's 125. I would say that is at least 100% of its weekly range hit now. It's just difficult to know whether or not to measure it from there or to measure it from that low, which is what the indicator or the dashboard does. Because it can only go with the data it's got on the chart. Either way, massively extended. We're off the back of a 2-day rally, so very good chance of a pullback. And New Zealand dollar yen. That one's extended because we've got this New Zealand dollar rally. Obviously now we've got yen strength coming straight in. So if you're in that, you're probably out already. Where was the entry on that? Come on, chart. Oh, you just literally had the entry on that. So you're 18 pips in profit. 27 is half an ADR. So straight into ADR, straight out again. So we'll see if this holds this yen strength. This is coming off the weekly high. Look, it's double top. Going to say it's kind of a bit Batmanish, but it's not. It's an upside. Is that? Not even a Batman, is it? Okay, it kind of looked like it was going to do a Batman, but that's too low. Double top anyway. You got a nice backup here as well, look. So if this doesn't work, you're got a second bite at about 130 ADR. So you'd average into the drop from there. So there's ADRs. There's a couple of pretty good ones in there. I asked this morning about pound Swiss. Was it? Yeah, I never remember. I come in here twice a day. Every session blurs into the next one. So I've never got any clue what I said when, because I say the same thing every day, basically every session, because that's all I do. I just do the same thing every day. So I can never remember when I said what. RSIs banked 0.26% this morning. Really struggling. RSI is struggling at the moment. As I said this morning, we just don't. We're not getting any movement. It's just loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of sideways movement, and it's just really, really hard to bank anything when the market just doesn't go anywhere. So a little bit stuck. RSIs at the moment. There's a few 4 hours to look at, and we've got a few hourlies. I'll go through those in a sec. I just want to see what we're doing. Yeah, thought so. Oh, gonna be a pain in the arse afternoon. Okay, so hedged on the Dow, hedged on the S&P. And short NASDAQ. So hopefully this breaks short and we can at least get a profit off the NAS. Hedges. Half an ADR. Okay, upside hedge I'm going to pull down. This is a little bit risky going that close, but it's just shy of ADR. So I'm going to go there. It's about 3/4 of an ADR. Downside, I'm happy to leave that 5R because we'll be targeting either yesterday's low or the previous day's low, which is 100 to 125 ADR range. So if I get out there, we should be looking for some kind of bounce out of that level. S&P. Again, we're at highs. Possible to pick a long target. There isn't one. So I'm just going to leave it at 5R. Or might go short, actually. I might just go shy of ADR, just in case we get a little bit exhausted at ADR. Downside. Tricky. I might go pre-market low. It's either going to come and bounce off of this Globex high here. So this is the Globex high before we started rallying off the back of that news. So they're either going to come and test this area or they're just going to test this whole thing. So if you look at this on an hourly chart, this is a propulsion gap. Yeah. So I'm looking for them to retest the propulsion gap and buy back out of it. That is the low though. So they're either going to do that if they come down, or they're going to come and retest the pre-market lows. If they can move all the way up there and then get all the way back down below that low, that's putting in over 150% of ADR for the day. So that would be quite hard work to get all the way back down there. We'd need something pretty substantial on the yen, on the US dollar to rally to get that down there. So I'm going to target that initially, but I'm going to watch price action here. NASDAQ, we are short. So again, same thing with the NASDAQ. Look, there's the rally. That's 2R. Happy to keep first target at 2R in case they bounce out of that level. See what happens. But so far, it's not going anywhere, is it? We're stuck again. Another whippy session. Getting a lot of these. Just annoying, isn't it? But never mind. Not a lot you can do. So ADRs. Sorry, RSIs even. We've got Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. We know that one because we just looked at it. It's an ADR hit. It's also extended on RSI. It's coming down into that level that I identified here. Yeah, so that 125 level. Not quite extended enough for me to get in. It's very close, but it's not an entry for me yet. CAD Swiss, that's extended to the upside. That one's already playing out from the 70 level. Again, if you're taking the 70s, you're going to get into a lot more opportunities than I will. And a lot of them will work out. So there's one there. CAD Swiss, 5-minute reversal alert was there. It's your entry, and that's your trade so far. New Zealand dollar Swiss also extended. New Zealand dollar, obviously, we've looked at. That's an ADR hit as well. And New Zealand dollar yen, we've looked at because that's also an ADR hit. So these are all ADR hits. This is what I mean. ADRs and RSIs, you're going to get the same trades a lot of the time. New Zealand dollar Swiss is still extended on the 4-hour. We are now extended beyond the 75 level. So this is really extended. Massive, strong push on this one. We've had a weak Swissy along with the Euro, and New Zealand has been rallying off the back of the news, and it's obviously just had a rally into the news as well. So we got tons. This is just, look at this thing. It's just solid price action. It's just solid. You cannot pick a support or resistance in this thing. That is a great high we've just hit. But then again, so's that, and so's that. Then we got a low there. No idea. But it's going to come down at some point. It's going to profit take that leg at some point. It's either going to do it from there or it's not, in which case then somewhere in this area here. This is such a thickly traded instrument. To get a propulsion gap in it is quite rare. So up there somewhere, but it may well just come down from there. You've got lovely wick formation there, and it's extended. So if you look at normal RSI extensions beyond the 25 levels, big push up from there, that one there, big push down. We had one here. That got extended there. So you'd have been in, out. So this is your first in. It's either going to work or it's not. If it doesn't, you're looking at coming up potentially anywhere up to there. I mean, if you're up here and you haven't had a pullback yet, I mean, it's stretched to hell, isn't it? So it's going to come down very hard like that or like that. I keep saying this, the 80 level on the RSI 4-hour is brilliant. Yeah. You get virtually 100% strike rate with the 80 level. 80-20. Yeah. That was your entry. Collapse. That was your entry. Collapse. That was your entry. Collapse. Not far off. Yeah. Got some 20 entries as well. One there. You'd have taken 2 on that. There's that one there. So this one, it would have been a squeeze. You'd have got in there. You wouldn't have got out, and that's too close. 46. That's an ADR. You probably would have got out on that. Doesn't look much, does it, that? But that is an ADR. What do we look for? An ADR. So that's possibly an out. But if you weren't out, you were in, out. No more than 4 or 5 positions on that one. When you get that extended, yeah, the market is absolutely exhausted. For them to rally it again, very hard work. So that's, but you're not going to get many entries. Yeah, you've had 1, 2, 3, 4 trades in pretty much 12 months. But they are so unbelievably reliable. Those are the sorts of ones. If you go and back test the 4-hour RSI 80-20 and use 5-minute reversal alert entries or 15-minute reversal alert entries, you can get in with 1% on those. And if you're only trading a couple of, make sure your exposure's limited so you don't get overexposed on an instrument. But they're absolutely killer. Don't get there very often though. You won't often find this column lit up. Takes a hell of a move for them to get that extended. Usually fundamentals. So there's a couple of others in there as well. Pound Swiss we've already looked at in that one. That's an ADR hit today. So the Pound Swiss is also extended on the 4-hour, just about. Euro Swiss also extended. So I got out of the Euro Swiss this morning. A little bit early, but got out. Or was that late? Actually, I think I got out as it was coming down. Another RSI, New Zealand dollar Swiss. It's just telling me that's extended again. Oh, so there you go. New Zealand dollar Swiss is now below that level. So I will be getting into New Zealand dollar Swiss today. Here. So I'm going to get in as soon as we get that break. If it pushes up, obviously, then I'll get in up here somewhere. But I'll be getting into that one short today. CAD Swiss. It's a 4 hour. Again, nice extension, beautiful level, monthly high, weekly high, previous resistance. So if we're going to stay range bound, yeah, what we talked about this morning, balance, price discovery, balance. If we're staying in balance, we're coming down here. If we're going for a new price discovery move, we're going to come and test that high. So good looking little short. And Aussie dollar Swiss. Same as the New Zealand dollar Swiss. So if you look at these two side by side, the Aussie Swiss and New Zealand Swiss, there's a lot of similarities in them. Aussie Swiss is a little bit neater at the moment than the New Zealand, but they're doing pretty much the same thing. So this is just bouncing off the 24 MA on the daily. Nice extension. So again, same trade as that one. In, out. Yeah. We're looking for a continuation move. If it doesn't continue, probably come up and test the 72 and that area, and then bounce from there. And then obviously, doesn't matter where it goes, we'll be out on that. So there you go. There's your RSIs. Not a lot banked on that today, this week either. I mean, this month, it's just been very hard on that. But some stuff coming into fruition now. US dollar Swiss. So I've got one short on US dollar Swiss. Peter wants to look at that. So we had an RSI, just kind of missed it. Nice divergence there though. So initial entry was there and out, and then we got an extension short down the downside, which I got out on long. Another one there. But nice divergence on this at the moment. So price makes a new high, RSI is weakening, so it's bearish divergence. Just had the reversal alert, and we're just retesting at the moment. So this is either forming a multi-day M pattern to come and retest propulsion, or we're going to accumulate, and then the news will drive the US dollar up or down. I've got short on at the moment off of the RSI extension, which is here. Just about. It doesn't look like it hit it. Look. It did. Obviously, must have given us a reading of exactly 75 yesterday, day before yesterday. I can't even see the entry. It's pretty much 75.05 was the reading there. So just got it. So that's ADRs and RSIs covered. Hedging banked 2.74% today, 1.45 yesterday. This is just 13.3%. We're on the 7th of the month. Banked 13%. Days. Nothing else getting close. Well, there's a couple of bits actually. Aussie US maybe getting close to bank today. New Zealand US might bank, might get the pound yen if the yen continues to rally. Although that is hedged. New Zealand CAD. Need a bit more movement on that one. There's not a lot else to bank, but yeah, 2.74 bank today. So big moves today. Big profit again. All good. So 13% on hedging, 6.5% on ADR reversals, and a couple of percent on H1 M5. Hopefully this moves at some point. I've just got a bad feeling about this at the minute. It feels like the market's ready to do something, but then again, I've been feeling like that for the last 2 months because it hasn't been doing anything. You always think when there's a calm, there's going to be a big move. A lot of the times there is, but for the last 2 months, we've been waiting for a big move and it hasn't come. So we will see. So NASDAQ's stuck Christmas trees. Yeah. Red, green, red, green, red. Red, green, red, green, red. Christmas. Nothing's happening. Anybody got anything else I want to look at, discuss, talk about? The usual calm before the storm. Yeah, maybe. Somebody just asked in Telegram, is gold a good market to trade? How do I reply to that? Okay, Dow attempting new low. Other than that, we're not going anywhere, are we? Stuck again. So, new EA, the position trading EA is finished. Well, not finished. It's finished up to the point where I'm happy to live test it. Ask John Wick, yeah. Gold? I don't know. Up or down? One or the other. So that's all ready to go, basically. Haven't tested this on control points yet. That's something I need to do as well. So I'm going to put this onto. What the hell was that? Did you see that? Watch here. What's that? So I need to just let. What have I done? There you go. I say it's ready to test. I know what that is. I think that's the first time I've tested the info panel being turned off. I think that will probably be fine when it's turned on. Yeah, I know what that is. So this is all ready to put on the VPS. So I've got the VPS all set up, ready to go. So I just need to basically pop it on every pair, and then we'll be away. So I'm going to get that all set up today. And just see how it gets on. But all the main coding's finished. So it's basically just doing normal position trading at the moment. It's got targets for single trades. It's got targets for position trades. It's got targets for overall hedging baskets. It's using ADR reversals and H1 or RSI reversals, whichever time frame you want to choose. So it basically just trades my core strategies. You can set it up to hedge in a roundabout sort of way as well. But there's no DD control in there. There's no aggressive drawdown control in there at the moment. So that's all manual. So apart from that, it just, that's what I do. Just makes money. So I need to live test it though and forward test it just to make sure it's all doing what it should be doing. I mean, that was a big one. Oof. I haven't set this up properly yet, so I've no idea what it's going to do. That looked like it when I do about 60% drawdown there. It's not taking the right size trades either. Might be that doesn't work on control. I've never tested it on control points. Yeah, now it's taking the proper trades. Not sure that's going to work on control points. So yeah, so I've still got a little bit of work to do on it, but yeah, but it's going well so far. So I'll let you know on that when I've got it live testing, and we'll watch it live testing. Going to get hedged on the NASDAQ as well. It's going to be a triple hedge day. This market has absolutely no clue where it wants to go. I'm hoping it's not exhausted after this rally. So NASDAQ's out the highs now, look. Just retesting high of the day. We have basically tested this level 3 times now. So once, twice yesterday. So there's 3 tests there. This is the 4th test, which just rejected. We're having another crack at it. If it gets through that level today, we're going to pop, because there's nowhere to go. And if it does pop, it could go absolutely anywhere. So 5R for me is going to be 125 ADR. So if it does break out the highs today, I'm just going to watch it and see where it goes. Looks like it's going to hedge. S&P is also a new high of the day. So might be getting a bull run here. Do you compound at the trade level or the account level? Don't know what that means. Hedge on the NASDAQ. So there you go. There's the little pop. There's a pop on the NAS. So we're at the highs. Uncharted territory now. So ADR to the upside there. 5R is 125 ADR. So as we're breaking into new highs, you just got to be very careful that they do not buy the crap out of it. So this is a breakout. If it's going to be a strong breakout, you could go 150 ADR, 175. It could go anywhere. So we'll see what they do with it. If it's a false breakout, obviously, it'll be the same as yesterday. We'll get a nice big rally back down from there, in which case then you want to look for short targets. So obviously all the way back down to there, low of day, which is there, or yesterday's lower ADR. But yeah, triple hedge today. Can't do anything with it. It's not doing, just a mess. So I'm going to leave targets at roughly 5R, which is just under 4R on the S&P, and we'll see how much volume we get. Dow, I'm going to stick with that high because we haven't hit it yet. So even if we do break out, you have to think what's going to happen with the NASDAQ and the S&P as they break out. We are going to get them stall at some point because it takes a hell of a lot of buying to break out to new levels. So the buyers will be exhausted. We will get a pullback, and you usually come back and test the breakout level. So as that happens, the Dow may well be hitting this level, which will force a load of sellers in, which may cause that pullback to start. So that level is still, I think, valid. This is going to have to rally some to drag the Dow through that level, because it's shy, isn't it? So we'll see. So yeah, pain this afternoon. You're going to have to sit here and manage this lot. not to ask more work from you, but I was thinking on the EOM videos you do, showing your P&L, perhaps showing stats in Quant Analyzer would avoid those videos being repetitive. Well, I can show my FX Blue now. So could go through all sorts of statistics. Which I'm hoping to put on the website, but I need to figure out. Just need to figure it all out, basically. And I've also got a portfolio. That one. Yeah, so that's the total portfolio. Why is that not showing margin and equity? It's done it again, look. It's not showing the open orders. That one is. Something wrong with that feed. I might just reset this one up again because this is the H1M5 account. That is ADR. That is hedging. So for some reason, see, it's updated, but it only updates closed positions. It's like it's getting half the data. Semi-verified result. Yeah, see, this is not right. It is verified. You look at the other two accounts, they're verified results because it's got my investor password, so it's logging into my account, dragging all the data. For some reason, this one isn't, and I don't know why. I need to check out why that's doing. But yeah, that was a good idea. I can go through this basically. So this is the whole portfolio, if you like. And then go into each individual strategy on its own. There's a lot of information in here. I'd need to kind of plan what to talk about, really, because there's a lot of it, isn't there? But then you can customize it all as well. Look. Ooh. Okay. Anyway, I need to play with that. Sorry, I'm just waffling. Just going over the strategies over and over again. Yeah. Not a lot to talk about in a recap, is there? It's basically, it's a longer version of what I do in here every day. Here's what I've closed. This is what I got open. Here's some of the trades. It's not really a lot to talk about. I do the same thing every day, so it's a bit hard to make it exciting because it's not, is it? Really? It's boring. Hopefully we'll finally move away from these all-time highs. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's about time we had a move out the highs. And we've got earnings. Earnings fortnight is normally when we do it. And we've had earnings fortnight. We're going into the tail end of earnings now. So if it does break out, we could have a couple of good bull days on the cards. But we'll see. It may fail here and just come back down again. Does the hedging strategy also get into additional positions? Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah. Half an ADR. So there you go. There's a sell there and a sell there. There's your average. no different, this strategy, to normal position trading, except that we are taking trades on every reversal alert. Therefore, we are getting in without RSI extension. So it's just taking everything. It's basically, you know, like, we obviously wouldn't know, but I mean, people buy the market reversal alerts indicator and they stick it on a chart and they take every single signal. And then I get a message, usually after a day or two, of them going, "This is amazing. I took every reversal. 80% strike rate. It's the best thing. You've found it. This is the holy grail." And then 3 days later, why are the signals repainting? It's just losing after losing after losing. And it's like, have you watched any of the videos on the website? You don't just take every signal, because it's just telling you when there's been sellers entering the market and buyers entering the market. It doesn't mean it's going up or down. That's exactly what this does. As soon as there's an H1 reversal alert, it goes short. If there's an H1 reversal alert long, it goes long. One of them is going to work. So we deal with the one that doesn't. The one that works goes in the bank, which is why it's banked 13%. The one that doesn't goes into drawdown. So we add to that and scale out. Exactly the same. But obviously everybody that uses the indicator on its own is usually using a stop loss. Therefore, they constantly get stopped out. I don't. Doesn't matter how many videos I put up, people just don't watch stuff. We're human beings. We like to do things and then read the manual. Why don't you trade the yesterday's high-low strategy? I just don't like it, personally. It uses a stop loss. So, as you know, I don't use stops. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good strategy. Yesterday's high-low. Works very well. Sometimes it doesn't. But it's just another stop loss strategy. So it's for the people that want to use stops. A lot of the strategies on, I mean, this one specifically on here, you can use it as a position trading strategy if you want to, but obviously it's very similar to the ADR strategy in the fact that you are taking a reversal at a level, but this is not extended. So this move here hasn't hit ADR yet. RSI isn't extended on the higher time frame. So it's literally you're getting in and hoping the market comes back down again because it's going to hit a resistance. If this is a breakout, you could go 150 ADR, meaning if this was at 50 ADR, for example, you might have 100 ADRs worth of movement, in which case you'd need to scale in a couple of times just today. And then what if it goes further and pushes RSI extended for the next 2 days? I'll be getting into my first entry in 2 days' time. You'll be in 6. So it can get you into quite heavy drawdown. But equally, like the H1 hedging strategy, it can also bank over and over and over and over again. Don't forget, the market spends 80% of its time in ranges. Yeah, what's it doing? Moving up to where it was previously. Where was it previously? The high of the day and the low of the day. That's why it works, because 80% of the time the market spends in a range. Or it spends it in a channel. We're just about taking out the high of yesterday and then we're pulling back. We're just about taking out the high of yesterday and then we're pulling back. Just about taking out the high yesterday, then we're pulling back. Every single one of those is a mean reversion trade at yesterday's high using a reversal alert. When you go into strong trends, this thing's going to hurt. So again, you know, so I keep saying it, there is no strategy that works in all market conditions. This strategy was initially developed as a stop loss based strategy. And, you know, people call it stop run, yesterday's high-low sweep. You know, I mean, there's no such thing as a stop run. The market doesn't know they exist. It's got nothing to do with it. But market reacts at previous levels of support and resistance, but it's not at that price. It's around that price. We get exhausted trying to break out, so we fail. we hit that level, limit orders trigger and shoot it away. Or we break out and everybody that was short there takes a loss and flips long. Breakout. That's the mechanics going on in the market. One of those three scenarios. There's not, oh look, there's 50 retail stops there. Let's drive price up, take their money and run away with it. Banks haven't got a clue. We don't exist. Think about a fly, then think about a piece of poo falling out of the fly's bum, right? And then a big foot coming and treading on it. We are the piece of poo out the fly's bum underneath the bank's foot. They haven't even got a clue. They've trodden on us. $7 trillion a day goes through this market. There's not enough retail traders in the world to move a candlestick. It's all smoke and mirrors to sell your courses. Haven't got a clue. There's liquidity at those levels. So yes, there is liquidity there. They're not in the form of stop losses, in the form of orders, limit orders, banks trying to sell it, or banks trying to add to breaks. It's not retail. There's definitely orders there. We know that. This is why we bounce at those levels, because there's limit orders triggering. When they push S&P 500 to 5,000, they can produce fancy news articles inviting everybody to buy stocks. Yeah. 5,000. We're not far away, are we? There we are. That's where I'm getting out. Just before we hit that. Oh, look at that. That level, look. How coincidental is that, look? That big round number, 5,000, is exactly ADR today. To the pip. That's the screenshot I'm going to put up on the website. Hey, look how accurate ADR is. As soon as we hit that 5,000, they'll sell the crap out of it. Or they'll rally straight through that 5,000. Everyone will go, hey, we broke 5,000 today for the first time. You want to be careful when you hit that, because that thing could pop through that super fast, but we'll see what happens. AZ, 15 minutes behind on the stream. Good to know the new EA is finished. Yeah. Well, it's finished it's finished at the moment. So I'm just going to move my it's moving up too quick. I'm not going to jump out on this just yet. Just in case this pops, this level. Oh, I've made it the wrong level now. There we go. Got to be accurate. No, I haven't got ADHD. It's got to be 5,000 though. Approaching double top on the Dow as well. Very strong rally at the minute. Yeah, so it's finished up to the point where I can test it. So I can test the functionality. But there's more I want to add. So it might be that I push it out and then update it. But I need to, it's ready for forward testing anyway. And I want to be able to press buttons. Got to try and break it. I'd be very surprised if I can't break it. It's very, 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 very rare I build something and then it works. There's always something that's going to break somewhere. Love the error messages in MT4. Too many open orders, but there are no orders on the terminal. That's an MT4, is it? Check your broker. That is a broker limit. So the brokers, when you log into MT4, the brokers push data down into MT4, account balance, all that sort of stuff. Tick value, lot size, swap values, all that sort of stuff gets pushed down into your terminal. Maximum number of orders is not set by MT4, it's set by your broker. So it might be your broker's pushed down a 0 order. They quite often will do that to lock an account so that you can't trade on it. So when you get, when you're in a prop account, yeah, and all of a sudden, if you're going in a valuation and you blow it, it closes all your trades and you can't place any more trades because they've said you can't place any trades. They've set the maximum trades to 0. You can't trade. You'll get that error message, too many open orders. But that's the wrong error message. Normally it comes up as trading restricted by broker, I think it is, or something. That's the other way they do it. Demo account, is it? Shouldn't make any difference. Most brokers replicate their live settings on the demos, apart from spreads, which they make super tight and super fast, so that you think you're trading the best thing in the world, and then you get a live account and the spread goes like that. Move broker. We're running out of steam. Are we going to test that? That is the question today. So this is our first pullback candle. So basically just watching these previous lows. Yeah. So if we break down below that candle on the 5-minute chart, means we've had obviously more than 5 minutes worth of selling, because it's a 5-minute candle. That's literally all it's telling us, is we've been selling for 5 minutes. But that obviously does mean that we have run out of buyers. So if we just get an inside bar or a higher low put in, we know we've still got buyers on board because they're not letting the sellers take back control. So if we sit around for a bit, there's a good chance we might get a second leg. So this should just be either a flag break or an accumulation break. But we'll see. So this afternoon, I'm going to have to watch this. Annoyingly, I've got to go out at 5. So hopefully we just rally up, touch that, and we start to see some signs of weakness at that level. Double top on the Dow. NASDAQ, I'm just leaving at 5R. So I'm just going to let these play out basically as where you can see them at the moment. However, the S&P, I will be watching closely for the next hour to see if we test that. If we get a sudden push from that, I will probably get out because it's quite likely that we'll have limit orders triggering at that level. Big round numbers are always reactive. There's always institutional orders sitting at big round numbers. Institutions sell at 2,500 or 2,550 and they get out at 2,100 or whatever. So they always work in big round numbers. Why big round numbers tend to be reactive? Because you don't go, I'm going to sell at 49.93.6. You're not. You're going to sell at 5,000. So that's why we get reactions at them. There's nothing mystical about them. It's easier to place big orders at round numbers. So we'll see what happens when we get there. So that's my upside target today. Dow is there. NASDAQ, I'm going to let run, but I'm going to watch. If we do start to falter, I might well exit this one and then expect them to pull back on it. But they should either rally or dump from where we are here. So hopefully they rally. Be nice to get a big clean breakout, because the more extended this thing gets, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of buying, no selling so far at all in the last 5 hours. Yeah, if we're going 6, 7, 8 hours worth of continuous buying, that thing's going to correct itself. So we will see what happens. There's round number indicators that put lines on round numbers. Yeah, there is. I used to use them. But the problem is with them, you will trade at them. So, I mean, it's a valid reason. If your strategy is you buy and sell every big round number, that's the indicator for you. Otherwise, every time you hit one of them, you will either exit the position or you will enter a position. So it makes you trade, makes you overtrade. There's a lot of big round numbers. And what is a big round number? There's many, many, many ways to look at these. Some people use this as a big round number. And then you could look at 4,900, which is all the way down here somewhere. Yeah, 4,900. So that is obviously it's about a week's worth of movement, maybe. So if that's too far, you could use the half, 49.50s. Yeah. Or why not go in quarters? 49.75. Which do you use? Have another one in there. See what I mean? All that you end up doing is placing a grid on your chart, which causes you pretty much every day to take a trade. I just found myself going, oh, that didn't work. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, that didn't work. And then it would double top it. And you go, oh, it worked the second time round, but I took it the first time. Because it didn't work the first time, I didn't take the second one. Just another reason to get in, isn't it, at the end of the day? But they do often have orders at them. It's the question is, do you get a big enough reaction? So if we're going to sell at the big round number, because I'm hedged, all I want is that. But if you are taking a new entry with a stop there, you're going to want something like that. So whether or not a big round number works as a strategy is dependent on whether or not it bounces to your TP or whether it bounces shy of your TP and then hits your stop loss. It's not the entry that makes the money, it's the exit. So, but they do work. But equally, again, very similar to what we're seeing here, so many times I found you get close to it and then it drops. But it never actually touches it. And you're like, well, didn't hit it. That's because everybody was selling in preparation for the sell order coming in at there. Because everybody sold before the sell order came in, it didn't actually get to the sell order and it just came down before the sell. You can't win, can you? It's absolutely nothing works consistently. Anyway. Right, so I'll leave you there. We are starting to pull back. Do I get out here? I think this is probably going to flag. I think we're probably going to see something like that. I'm not going to exit this. I'm going to hold it. It's risky, but I'm not sure we're there yet. So I think we might have another leg. I've got to disappear because I've got stuff to do before I go out. But that's my plans on those. Everything else is still just sitting around on H1. ADRs, bank 1.9 now. Euro US dollar is getting close. That's not, it's miles away, but it's in profit. And hedging obviously is just waiting for stuff to ripen, basically, so that I can close it out. So everything working apart from the hedging so far today. Tomorrow, there is unemployment at 1:30. Other than that, again, it's another no news day. So be aware of this today, this afternoon. It is talking heads. Talking heads can say stupid things. So we might get some volatility off the back of that. And the bond auction at 6 o'clock. So from 4 until 6, basically, you've got the potential for some volatility to come into the US. So, and that obviously can cause volatility absolutely everywhere. So just be aware of all of that this afternoon, especially with the indices as well, because obviously whatever happens on the US, the indices will tend to do the opposite. So we'll see what happens, but there's no other impactful news until tomorrow afternoon. So there's nothing to worry about overnight. So just business as usual. And I will be getting in. No, I'm not. I'm already in the pound Swiss. So I'm already in that one. There was one I'm getting into today, isn't it? New Zealand Swiss. If it gives us a reversal. So at the moment, we haven't got an entry yet. So that will be today's short on H1 M5. But that's all at the minute. And Aussie New Zealand, I'll keep an eye on. Well, I won't. The EA will. We've already had a reverse alert, so it's going to be a bit late. It's got to push down further. So we need this to basically come back down further for me to get an entry on that one. But it's already looking like it might go. That's a perfect 3-bar reversal forming there. Sell. Pause. If that goes bear, bull. That's a nice 3-bar reversal, which is a reversal pattern. Coming back up in to test that. Right. I'll leave it there. Anything you need, let me know in Telegram. Be back tomorrow morning, 7:50, same time, 2:20 tomorrow afternoon. And we'll watch what happens with these this afternoon. I'll post in Telegram if I do anything, but I've got to go out at 5, so I might just have to leave them on, which will be annoying. For me, it's a bit hard to follow on English, Rico. But this way I learn the strategy and English together. I shall try to speak slower and clearer. I tend to waffle and speak very fast, so I'm not probably the best person to learn English from. Anyway, hopefully. All right, have a good afternoon, evening, and I will be back tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Have a good one.